Now, if one thing's for certain, one thing that I've learned over the past several years now from talking with you guys, seeing which stocks and ETFs you guys buy into, and which are some of your favorite, etc., is that for the most part, a lot of us can sort of fall in the line of wanting to invest in different ETFs and stocks that do have growth potential and that are going to help our net worth grow over time pretty significantly in a short time frame. But on top of that, a lot of us like to invest at least a portion of our portfolio into different, more income-focused ETFs or stocks that maybe aren't going to grow as fast in a short time frame, but are specifically going to pay us a significant amount of cash flow basically from day one. So hear me out. In this video, I'm going to go through a perfect 2 ETF combination for a portfolio that's aimed towards significant growth in a short time frame, but also massive income on top of that. So if you would consider yourself an investor that falls sort of in line with wanting massive growth, but also wanting income from day one, well, make sure to stick around, drop a link down below, and let's get right into it. Real quick, for those that haven't already, make sure to go to the first link in my description and grab my new dividend investing ebook, where I share exactly how I went from $0 invested to now earning over $6,000 on a monthly basis and over $1 million invested in the markets. Along with the ebook, you're also going to receive my custom dividend tracker, where you can track your dividend progress on an ongoing basis and reach your dividend investing goals. So make sure to grab yourself a copy of my dividend investing ebook and the new dividend tracker today. It's the first link in my description. So the 2 ETF portfolio that I'm talking about is going to be a combination, whatever combination fits for your personal liking. We're talking about pairing up SCHG, the Schwab US Large Cap Growth ETF, with a more income-focused ETF that's very high quality, one of my favorites, the JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF, or JEPQ. Now, the idea of combining something like these 2 ETFs, that one offers massive growth potential because of the top holdings and just going off what it's done historically, along with an ETF that has a high quality track record of not only growing but paying massive amounts of income to investors every single month. Well, at least in theory, by combining 2 ETFs like these ones, you as an investor or an investor out there could have exposure to massive growth potential and, like I said, massive income potential with as simple as just holding on to 2 high quality ETFs. But to dig a little bit deeper into both these ETFs before we go over the performance and what this could look like, the Schwab US Large Cap Growth ETF is one of my favorite growth exposure ETFs. It's very cheap to hold on to with an expense ratio of just 0.04%, and the objective is to track as closely as possible before fees and expenses the total return of the Dow Jones US Large Cap Growth Total Stock Market Index. Now, just to get right into it, the reason why I like SCHG so much and the reason this ETF has so much growth potential, look at the top holdings. Over 10% of the entire ETF is invested in NVIDIA, and we have over 10% in Apple stock. Then a massive portion of the ETF tracks things like Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Tesla, Broadcom, Alphabet, and Eli Lilly. Now, these are not only blue chip names that have a long track record of performing very well, but also, let's be real here, even the top 3 names are probably going to grow double, triple, quadruple, who even knows, in the next several years. Now, of course, past performance does not indicate future performance, but at least going off of historical numbers, SCHG does have a very good track record of growing their ETF consistently. I'm talking the last 14-15 years, this ETF is up 778+%. Even just year to date, taking a look, 34% in the green. 1 year, 44% plus in the green. The last 5 years, 153%. Now, you might be asking me, well, if this ETF is doing so well, why not just buy into this? Why even mess around and buy into something like JEPQ? And of course, you as an investor has the choice to do whatever you want to do for your portfolio and for your goals. But even to have some exposure to some more income potential that can maybe help you pay for things like bills, even a small bill potentially in the future. At least for me as an investor, I love having cash flow coming in consistently. Even if it means that I'm potentially missing out on some gains, I can live with that. So now that we talked about SCHG, let's talk a little bit more about JEPQ, how this ETF works, what it has to offer. This ETF seeks consistent premium income with lower volatility. It basically tracks the Nasdaq 100, but then with the use of covered calls. The ETF offers massive income potential for investors. Now, how much income are we talking for an ETF that costs in the mid $50 range? We're talking around 40 cents to 50 cents every single month, more or less. Some months being higher and lower for an ETF that costs in the mid 50s. Now, this means that even just a few $1,000s invested into something like JEPQ, you're going to have cash flow coming in basically from day one. Not to mention the yield on this one is around 11%, which again means for every $100 that you invest into JEPQ, at least going off of the last 30 or so days, that means that you're receiving around $11 per year in income. Now, JEPQ does have a track record of also growing on top of the income potential, which is awesome. The ETF is up over 16% in the 1 year and over 13% year to date. Max time frame, the ETF is up 14%. It's only been trading for a few years, and it's hard to compare this to something as powerful as SCHG, but again, they have different strategies, they have different goals, etc. And of course, it's going to completely depend on if you are an investor that doesn't really care about income whatsoever, or maybe you're an investor that doesn't really care about growth whatsoever, or maybe you're someone like myself that wants a little bit of both. That's why I want to make a video and come up with maybe the best combination or one of the best combinations for a growth and income focused portfolio, which is 2 simple ETFs inside of it. Now, lastly, I wanted to just share with you guys some of the actual performance over the max time frame. So JEPQ, for example, if investors would have bought into JEPQ and then reinvested their dividends along the way over the last 2.53 years, investors would have started with $10,000, let's say, for example, and they would have ended with $14,000 plus dollars. This is a 43+% in just 2.5 years. Not bad whatsoever, considering 15% on average is pretty good, also considering you're really focused on income when it comes to JEPQ. Now, SCHG has massive performance. It's been trading for a lot longer than that of JEPQ, but over the last 14-15 years, we're talking a $10,000 investment turned into $95,000 plus dollars, or an average annual return of 16% if, of course, dividends are being reinvested once again, which, crazy enough, is pretty close to the actual average annual total return of that of JEPQ. Now, in the most recent years, SCHG has really turned up as far as the growth that we've seen. So as of recent, this ETF has been on fire. But for those investors out there that are sort of on the fence, whether they want to invest in an income-focused ETF and build out a portfolio that's going to pay them cash flow consistently, and or if you're an investor that maybe wants to just focus on growth, maybe a little bit younger, you don't care about income right now, you want to really hop onto something that has the potential to grow and grow significantly in a short time frame. Well, either SCHG or, of course, JEPQ could potentially be good ETFs, at least to look further into 100%. So now that we talked about a super simple portfolio that could offer investors exposure to growth very simply, and also exposure to a high quality income focused strategy with a single ETF like JEPQ, and how combining the two of them could potentially build out a portfolio that not only is going to give an investor very simple exposure to growth and income from day one, I lastly want to hear from you guys down below. I want you guys to simply comment either income or growth, and I'm talking about if you're a more growth focused investor, comment down below growth, and if you're a more income focused investor, comment down below income. I want to get a read on the community and hear from you guys down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like on it and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.